Hello and welcome back to Premier League Primetime. Back, as I said, today, episode 20. And I'm here back again with the usual three. How are all three of you doing today?
Good.
What, Davis?
I guess the resembles someone's disappointment to a perfectly legitimate loss to Wolves today. But I'm feeling good myself. Let's just get right into it, as we always do. Newcastle went to Everton and they won by 2-0. Andre, what did you make of the game?
Sorry, wait. You cut out for a sec. What did you say?
I said Newcastle went to Everton and they won by 2-0. Shockingly. I put my chest on the line and said that, this should be no problems. But now I learned my lesson. Don't ever put your chest on the line for Everton because they are.
Someone else on the show predicted otherwise. Who was that?
Was that you? I thought we all pretty unanimously went Everton. God damn, dude. Jose is literally
I think
the best
all of us went Everton. I don't think a single one of us went Newcastle.
I remember we all went Everton. Maybe he didn't. God, I think he's the best of the four of us. Anyway, it was Callum Wilson's 100th career goal, his second one. Second time he scored a brace against Everton this season. He did it in the reverse fixture too. But yeah, it was just, I thought, it's not. I'm not gonna say it was a snatch and grab because that'd be a little unfair. But I think because they still deserve the win. But Newcastle, 39% possession, goal off a set piece, brilliant header though, and then a late counterattack. They snapped an 11-match winless game streak. But yeah, I thought they deserved it. Quality. They had the quality to totally just come out on top, and they did. I thought they were all. It was somewhat of a different Newcastle, but then again, this could easily turn, which it did. It just speaks more to their inconsistency. But really, I think Callum Wilson really won it for them in the end.
Yeah. And last question on this game, Andre. Do you think this is a turning point for Steve Bruce?
No, I don't. I don't think it is. I think again, I just think it's just so hot and cold, icy hot with this Newcastle team, and he's still in trouble. I still think they'll be fighting to stay atop.
All right. And Cyrus, over to you. Wolves lost by 0-0 at Selhurst Park to Crystal Palace. What did you make of that game?
Yeah, it was kind of surprising. Honestly, I thought Wolves would win. I don't know about you guys. I kind of forgot, but yeah, Crystal Palace dominating possession shots. Abare Eze with the goal, the opener. Yeah, and it was kind of just poor from Wolves, to be honest. Just nothing really going. No good players for Wolves this game, which I wish they did against Arsenal. But yeah, Zaha again punishing the center backs, constantly dangerous. And Abare Eze with the goal. So not much to say there, but good win for Crystal Palace.
Very good win for Crystal Palace. And I just want to touch on a name that you just said there, Every Eze. That guy's just been nothing but impressive since he's coming in from QPR. What are your thoughts on Mr. Eze this season?
Yeah, this game he kind of started in like the central role, but he kept going, left and right. And honestly, you could see with the Wolves center backs, it was difficult to pick him up. And yeah, it's a good signing, to be honest. I'm excited to see what he has in his potential.
100%. I think all of us are in agreement to that in terms of Every Eze. I'll say over to you. Sheffield United went to the other Manchester team, and the other Manchester team actually beat them. What a surprise! And it's great to see that that at least one Manchester side can actually beat Sheffield United, even though it's by a 0-0. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this game just shows really why Manchester City are title contenders and we're not. I think that when you can play a certain way against a team that sits back like this and beat them, even if it is by one goal to nil, it really shows that you're ready to win the title and you deserve it. I think they're really making themselves favorites for the title right now. They have an opportunity to take a really commanding lead on us at the moment. Gabriel Jesus with the early goal, and they had a really good defensive display throughout the rest of the game. Ruben Diaz got man of the match. Yeah, great performance from them.
100%. And yeah, as you said, I think it's very clear now that Manchester City are the clear title favorites. Even when United were or top the league. I still thought Manchester City were going to eventually win the league. Um, and I've said it times before, this team does not have a striker. Does not play with a striker, with not number 9.
Well, they did in this game, but normally they haven't. They haven't been. You're
No,
right.
normally. They did have Gabriel Jesus back for this game, but for the majority of the season, haven't played with the number 9. There have been games where Gabriel Jesus has been fit and sat on the bench. Yet this team has been clicking. And their main center back duo didn't even start, which has been Stones and Ruben Diaz, which totally screwed me over in fantasy. But it was Laporte and Laporte and Diaz this time, and they still kept a clean sheet at the back. What does that say about Manchester City?
Well, I mean, it shows that they have multiple players who can do similar jobs, and similar jobs being very, very good jobs. So, I mean, you look at their defensive depth, they've got Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Zinchenko, Laporte, Cancelo's been really, really good for them. John Stones, obviously, Eric Garcia and Benjamin Mendy, you could say. So they've got really, really good depth, and I think they've definitely now got the defense necessary to win the title.
They've still got Ake on that's injured right now, but he's there too.
Into the next game, relegation clash at the bottom. West Brom hosted Fulham, and it was a straight up draw. It was actually a rather exciting game. End score was 2-2. What did you make of this game, Andre?
Yeah, perfectly said with the whole just clash at the bottom thing. I think they're both, I think for all of us, really obvious relegation contenders. I think the goals were fairly well worked, but all of them just had a little bit of fortune in the end, especially the West Brom goals. And I think it's what we can probably all expect from this West Brom side under Allardyce. They'll do some combinations on the sides, but in the end, it's gonna be just having that bit of fortune to just put the ball in the back of the net. And yeah, two evenly fought sides, and 2-2. They share the points.
Yeah, very well said there. I have nothing more to say. You literally took the words right out of my mouth. Anyways, into the most disappointing game of the weekend. A game which I expected a lot more from both sides. Again, Arsenal hosted Manchester United, and that game ended in a 0-0 draw. I think a game which both Arsenal fans and Manchester United fans fell to sleep. Cyrus and Jose, what did you make of the game? And at the end of the day, who do you think comes away with this in terms of being more positive that they take a point?
I mean, I don't know about Cyrus, but I think that United fans should be a little more disappointed than Arsenal fans, just because, I mean, this is like what the fifth or the sixth 0-0 we've had against top 6 sides, and I think it's just, I mean, I should have predicted it, honestly. I should have predicted a 0-0, but I didn't think it was possible for Ole to be that naive yet again. But of course, I was proven wrong. So I think that he did what he usually does, played really defensively. We went with Maguire and Lindelof, which we all know doesn't work well if you want to play with a high line and attack throughout the game. And we just didn't test the Arsenal goal enough, and we didn't get our goal, and we didn't deserve one. So.
All right, Cyrus, what did you make of Arsenal getting a point out of this game?
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't that unhappy. Of course, a win would have been great, but we were missing some key players. To be honest, I didn't know Saka was not going to play. I thought Tierney was going to play. Turns out he didn't, and we didn't have Aubameyang either. So missing some key players that usually this season, besides Aubameyang, but he's class and he always scores against Man U. But those players have been like our top 3 players last couple months. So it was disappointing not to see them in the squad. And to be honest, I felt like maybe we could have got something, but Man U missed so many chances at the end, especially from Luke Shaw. He was Bellerin couldn't handle Luke Shaw down the line, and he wasn't getting much help. So yeah. I think I'm happy with a draw. I think our midfielders were decent. I think Xhaka was good. So yeah.
Yeah. And touching on something that you just said, Granit Xhaka. I've said this to people, to my mates off the show, for whatever reason, right? anytime this guy plays in an Arsenal kit and he plays against Manchester United, I swear my life, every single time, this guy just morphs into Prime Zidane. This guy is just literally everywhere. Like this guy just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just puts in a brilliant performance. I don't know what it is, whether it's like the odd dark horse game, and I honestly don't get it. So it's like as soon as I saw Jacques in the starting lineup, I was like, oh crap, here we go again.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not that hard to, lock up Bruno when he's against the top 6 side. So
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, make a good point. We've been absolutely dreadful against the top 6 sides. And going into the season, I would have never thought in my life, I would have never thought in my entire life going into the season that our issue would be beating the top 6, because going into the season, that was the thing I was least worried about, because last season that's actually what we were best at, being the top 6 sides. But I think all these has been found out. Yeah, as you said, Jose, the moment we saw Hoover and Vacuum, I already knew it was going to play ahead, because Hoover and Vacuum only work when your wingbacks don't go forward little to none, and you play McFred or Matt Fred or Matt Tawney.
Isn't there something to be said about? I mean, maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe it's just my recollection, but it seems like most of like the big hyped games, like the United Arsenals or the Chelsea Liverpools, whatever it may be, it seems like both teams have seemed to gone in like trying to not lose, and it seems like there've only been, I think, Spurs Liverpool and I guess the 6-1 game, at least in my memory, are the only ones where it's like it's been extremely watchable. Not for United fans, that one, or Spurs fans for the Liverpool one, but that it's like those were the only ones with high lines and stuff. It seems like I mean, were there any other matches that were truly
No,
highly contested?
I think you're definitely right. I think when teams play against us, especially because I think almost all the games that you're mentioning have to do with us somehow, and we're involved in them. So I think that what's happening is teams are remembering games from last season where, we just sit back, we play with Maguire and the Delaf, and then we hit them on the counterattack, and we were pretty devastating last season. So I think that they're also playing deep, and trying to get something out of the game that way as well. So it's just when those two systems meet, it often ends in 0-0.
Yeah. Like it seems like the more watchable games are like the ones where it's like there is a bit of a gap, like a top 6 sides versus say an Aston Villa or something in that mold.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. That's a brilliant point to point out there. And just looking back on it, I 100% agree with you. Like a lot of the vast majority of like the top 6 or supposed top 6, because some of the supposed top 6 are not in the top 6. I won't mention names. But I mean, honestly, I mean, a lot of these big matches that are supposed to be, the big and exciting ones, other than the two that you said, there really haven't been many that have been super exciting. But yeah, that's a great point to make. Anyways, moving into the next game, and yet again, another time where I put my chest on the line for a side, and they absolutely let me down. Southampton lost by a goal to nil at home to Aston Villa. Andre, what did you make of this game?
Yeah, two, I think, generally even sides, but Southampton haven't been on great form. I don't think they've picked up a win since that win at Anfield. But from the Aston Villa perspective, it was once again Villa's Jack Grealish and Ross Barkley that combined for the goal. I think those two have they're really good. I think Target was also really good in that match. But yeah, pretty even game, and in the end, it was just those two men from Villa that were able to get the points from.
Yep. Jack Grealish yet again. He has just been absolutely superb for this side, and he works yet again for another moment of magic. And I don't know if the three of you saw that. On Robo's story, he posted another tribute for his boy Jack. And
David Moyes says he's the best player in the league.
he's a great player, but I don't agree with that.
I think maybe top 3 for me right now.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's up there for top 3, but he's not the best player in the league.
Yeah.
No.
I think the top 3 right now has got to be Probably Bruno, Kane, and him, right? I think those are the three that really shout out to me as the best.
In
Yeah.
terms of form or like the overall season?
Yeah, form. Oh no, I would say the season.
Overall season.
Same thing. Yeah.
Salah instead of Kane, but Kane's a fair choice too.
No, Son. I'd throw Son in there instead of
I
Harry.
think Salah's been more inconsistent. When Kane's played, he's almost every game he's got a goal or assist. I think he has the most goal contributions in the league at the moment as well.
That's why I put him in. Just statistically, and he's all over the pitch all the time. I think all Spurs fans are amazed by how
Fair
good
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And I just want to, and actually speaking of this conversation, it's actually kind of interesting. As of right now, who would your, so far, if the season were to end right now, who would your Premier League player of the season would be? Starting with you, Cyrus.
Right now, if the season ended right now, probably Saka. Nah, I don't know. Probably Grealish, but I think the young player of the thing would be Saka.
All right, yeah, yeah, we'll do that as well. Andre, who would your young player of the year go to, and who would your player of the season go to?
Dele Alli for the young. No, I'm kidding. No, I'd go for the young player. I think I'd have to go Eberechi Eze, right? I think he's been probably the best
That's a
one.
fair shout. That's a fair shout.
I'd probably go him, and then for the top, I think Grealish would be definitely up there, but just for me, it'd be Kane again. He's been all over the pitch. He's over everyone, even Bruno. So yeah, it'd be Kane and Eberechi Eze.
And Jose, what about you?
I mean, I think that's a tough one. I think that for me it'd be between Kane and Bruno for player of the season so far, and I think that you could say Bruno just has a greater impact because his team is at a higher place in the table. So I'm going to be biased and go with Bruno. And then for young player of the year, I think I actually agree with Cyrus, and I'm going to go Saka.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. To not be biased, I would say Bruno Fernandes for all the reasons you say. Young player of the year, it would have to be Martial, 25 years of age, still young with loads of potential. No, I'm joking. Bukayo Saka, yeah, I'd go with Saka as well. Anyways, continuing on the path that we were on, Thomas Tuchel not finally, he's only been his second game. Thomas Tuchel now has his first win as a Chelsea manager. Chelsea hosted Burnley, won by 2-0. And one thing I noticed was before I asked Cyrus for what he thought of the game, players that I had not seen in weeks under Lampard suddenly magically reappeared under Tuchel. Cyrus, what did you make of this game?
No, yeah, and the players who suddenly magically appeared were the ones who scored actually, Aspinaqueta and Marcus Alonso. So yeah, you like to see that. Just because it's his second game. A comfortable win again. Werner and Tammy Abraham, not the greatest of games. Pulisic came in for Abraham in the second half straight away, and he made an impact getting the assist for Marcus Alonso. So overall, it was a good win, but you got to get those strikers going because in the big games, that's gonna matter, and you have to get Werner going because right now he's just, I don't know, he's just not playing to what they bought him for.
Yeah, 100%. I think Timo Werner will come in time. I think this new manager will at some point, in my honest predictions, because and again, we've said this so many millions of times using different examples, different players and whatnot. Unless if you're brought into Chelsea and given the number 9 shirt, and for me, for any new player coming in the league, you get the first season syndrome. And I know I take piss of him all the time, but Pepe, he's finally looking a bit consistent now. Fred, Lindelof in his second season. There are examples that I could just throw out. Players that haven't been living up to what they were supposed to be in the first season, but second season they've come alive. And maybe that's the same with Timo Werner. Am I saying that's going to happen for sure? No. But will I give him that bit of grace? Yes, it will. Into the next game, and Leeds United went to the King Power Stadium and they beat Leicester by 3 goals to 1. Yet again, another team that I put my chest out on the line for, and they absolutely screwed me over, and also screwed me over on fantasy because Fofana got injured and James Justin, I don't know what happened. Jose, what did you make of that game?
Yeah, it was surprising. I also thought Leicester would definitely win this one with their great counter-attacking play against Leeds' open football. But I think Leeds played a really, really good game. Patrick Bamford getting another goal. I think he's up to joint third on the top scorers charts right now, which is really, really good for him coming up from the championship. So yeah, good performance from Leeds. The goals from Stuart Dallas, Patrick Bamford, and Jack Harrison, and Harvey Barnes for Leicester.
Yep. There you have it. Into the next game. And Liverpool. Defying all the odds. A team that have now been resorting to play. What's his name? Rye Williams and Jordan Henderson at center back. They went to West Ham and utterly dominated West Ham in a 3-1 win. Cyrus, what did you make of this rampant performance from Liverpool?
Yeah, it was a good performance, especially because West Ham has been pretty good this season. Mohamed Salah with 2 goals again. He's been pretty consistent this whole season. I think he's the correct me if I'm wrong, top scorer in the Premier League right now. Yeah, and then Wijnaldum with another goal, kind of a rare goal, doesn't score too often. But yeah, with Liverpool having to play all these players in like different positions, it was a really good win, to be honest. You have Jordan Henderson at center back, as you mentioned, having the start. I think they started Shaqiri at attacking mid. So yeah, it was a good win overall, and hopefully more to come for them.
Yeah. And into the next game. And Andre reappearing. Something that Tottenham haven't been quite able to do in the recent games, and especially this past weekend. And I was with Andre watching this brilliant Mourinho masterclass as Tottenham yet again a horrendous setup in my opinion. Losing by 1-0 to Brighton. And another Mourinho disaster class. And I'll say this right now. I warned Tottenham fans and other Tottenham fans that I knew. I warned Tottenham fans to not get on their high horse just yet. And some of them didn't heed my warning. And now some of them are seeing what's truly unraveling. That now the leopard does not change the color of his spots. And has Mourinho changed the color of his spots? No, he hasn't. Has not in any way, shape, or form. Andre, what did you make of this absolutely abysmal performance from Tottenham?
Yeah, really, the setup, it's whatever, that's up to the manager. But yeah, I think the performance itself got to be, I think, almost got to be. I mean, no, not one like just nowhere near lethal. I can't think of any threat that we really have, despite like having some possession in the first half. But he just just shambolic. And that obviously Spurs from Brighton completely deserved the win. It would have been a steal for that, I think. Um, they created the better chances. They had us defend box against Brighton.
Hello, can you hear me? I think it cut out.
Can you hear me?
No,
Hello?
you've cut out. I think everyone's cut out. My reception is absolutely dreadful.
Just it seems like we're gonna. Some
My bad.
Yeah, I'm now the host.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wait, on Andre, what were the last couple things that you were saying? Just because it'd be
Davis,
completely.
we just
What is it?
Oh, okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. Our host kind of is just unprofessional, to be honest. So now I'm the host. I've taken over this boat. I'm the host. I'm the host. I'm the captain. Anyways, Jose, Sheffield versus West Brom. What did you make of that game?
Yeah, so definitely wanted to watch this game. A lot of people, I'm sure, enjoyed this one. I think it was a good game from Sheffield United, and I fancy their chances to get out of the relegation zone after this one. I think that if they put a real run of results together like they are right now, and they continue this form, I think that they have a good chance of making it out. Actually, even though they are pretty far down, but I think that they have a chance to make it out.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so now we're going to Wolves Arsenal. So yeah, as I mentioned before Davis left, it was just a robbery. Wasn't a pen. Don't think it was a red card, but we can agree to disagree. But yeah, I talked about Leno's mistake. Unfortunate. But yeah, it was just overall we still just didn't perform well, to be honest. There's things we just have to work on. I feel like we can't really blame Arteta here. I think that was the correct lineup. Just the players didn't perform on the day, and you know what? It's not like we're gonna get in the Champions League, but I think Europa League's what we have to focus on now.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was a bit unlucky. Honestly, I think
no,
that
it was
uh,
unlucky.
the penalty was strangely given. I think that there should have been more evidence of contact. I didn't even know, I don't even know if there was any contact. I saw that his foot got really close, but I don't know if it actually touched it all. And I think that the players got scared and fell down.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Well, obviously we know that VAR doesn't like us.
And
So.
also, is David Luiz like losing his hair? It looks like he was like going bald in that game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird. All right, anyway, we can move on.
Okay, as host, let's see what we're doing. Oh yeah, so Man U Southampton. Jose, what'd you make of that?
I mean, one of my best. I mean, I've watched some great games as a United fan, and this is probably one of the best, honestly. I mean, now that Davis is here, he can help me cover that one. But I mean, it was an awesome performance from us. I think that it has to be said, the game completely changed because of the red card in the second minute. You can see that clearly with the first goal. I mean, when you play 4-4-2 and one of your midfielders goes out, one of your strikers tends to have to come back and play in the midfield, and you see NBC did a really good job covering this. You see Ings going down on the left, trying to cover Wan-Bissaka, and he's just like way off him. He lets him run, and Wan-Bissaka gets into the box and scores the goal. Completely changes the game. Southampton play on the back foot the rest of the game, and we win 9-0. I mean, it was an awesome game. Davis, any thoughts on that one?
One thing I do to say, my Wi-Fi hotspot was honestly as dodgy as Tottenham's defending was in that 1-0 loss to Brighton. Honest to God, I don't know what happened. It I mean, literally, like it's like what's that thing called? It's like the invincibility cloak from Harry Potter. It just disappears and it's just non-existent. It vanishes. Like it's gone. Like, like David Copperfield doing a freaking act in Las Vegas. I swear on my life. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, Davis. I mean, it was okay. I mean, Cyrus. Luckily, we had him here. He was a strong man. He was brave. He took up the burden, and he became host. So we covered a few episodes in your absence.
Well,
Took
one
charge.
of them was inspirational host here, and I think the comments will tell me that.
Of course, yep, 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 yep. I already know all the comments are gonna spam. Oh, Shy Guy, great hosting skills. Oh, world class from Shy Guy. Oh, brilliant. He should be the new host. Dave I out. Shy Guy, new man, new host of PLPT. Oh, Dave I out. Anyways, thoughts on the 9-0. Lovely performance. Wish I could see us perform like that every game. Yes, you could say beating 10 men was part of the was part of it. Playing against 10 men for most of the whole time. But regardless, it happens. You got the red card, rightfully so. And it was just complete and utter domination. From back to front, everything looked brilliant.
Okay, so, let's speed it up. Andre, so what do you think of the Newcastle Crystal Palace game?
Well, first, wasn't I think it was the kid's debut, right? The kid that got the red card.
Yes, it was. It was his debut. Yeah,
2 minutes into your debut.
That's a tough debut.
That's got to go down in history as one of the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was unfortunate, to be honest with you. I don't really know what to say other than to be in that position. You're excited coming out for a Premier League debut. Then you get sent off. It's just like, that's tough. That really is tough. Anyways, yeah, Andre, what were you saying about the Newcastle game?
Yeah. Again, I spoke about their inconsistency the last one, but yeah, it proves it's not exactly a turning point for Steve Bruce. Took a loss to Palace. On the other hand, Palace, I think they seem to be really a complete puzzle, I would say, is what Palace are at the moment. They've got a fairly fluid attack. They tried Jordan Ayew on the right this time, so they're mixing it up. The likes of Zaha, Eze, and then a fairly good midfield duo. But yeah, just Palace came out on top, and I think their fans should be pleased with how their season's going. I wouldn't say they're not. I think in past seasons they weren't exactly fighting for safety, but they were pretty comfortably at the bottom. And I think now they can at least aim for a mid-table finish. But yeah, I think Palace deserved it in the end.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, let's go right into the predictions for tomorrow's starting with tomorrow. Burnley hosts Manchester City. And I think all of us can comfortably agree and safely agree that Manchester City will win this game tomorrow. Do all of you agree?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I'd love this to be one of my Jose predictions where I predicted a Burnley win, but I think it's going to be probably a Man City win.
Yeah. Anyways, next game is Fulham as they host Leicester. As shocking as Leicester were against Leeds, I think Leicester will bounce back. Anyone thinks any different?
I agree.
Wait, this is Leicester play who?
Leicester go to Fulham.
Ooh, no, I think, yeah, that seems pre-written. I think Leicester will come out on top.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of lagging a bit. Leicester play who?
Leicester play Fulham.
Asked. Okay, I'm gonna go with Leicester win.
Damn it. Leeds host Everton. And I'm not sticking my neck on the line for Everton because Everton completely screwed me over in the last game. And I think the way Leeds performed against Leicester, I think Leeds will actually win this game. What are you guys saying?
I'd go with Everton for this one. I think that they're going to play defensively enough to keep Leeds out, and then they're going to score some goals themselves. So I'm going to go with Everton.
I swear, Leeds, just don't. Leeds, please don't let me down on this one. Andre, what are you saying?
I'm feeling Leeds, but I'm just going to go with what Jose says. I think he's right. Let's go to Everton.
And knowing Cyrus, I'm gonna guess he's gonna go with Everton, but I could be wrong.
Well, I'd like to feel you, Davis, but I'm gonna. I feel like I'll go with Leeds. Yeah.
All right. Well, glad I was wrong. I'm glad I have Psy guys backing and quality support. Anyways, quickly into Matchday, 23. Aston Villa hosts Arsenal in Matchday 23. We're gonna go through this lightning round. For me, draw in my opinion. As smooth as that could be, I think now Arsenal without Leno could mean what I don't know if it's Matt Ryan or it could be the world class Alex Runerson could step up another couple howlers and whatnot. I think this is going to end in a draw.
Did we cover Aston Villa versus West Ham and Liverpool versus Brighton? think we still have 2 more games to go tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, we do. Thanks for the reminder. Everything's all over the place.
Of course.
Everything's absolutely all over the place.
It's unprofessional.
I'm professional.
Liverpool versus Brighton. I think Liverpool will take it.
Yeah, I agree. I captain Salah this weekend. I think he's gonna have a good game.
I should have signed Salah earlier.
Not this weekend,
What are the other two saying?
It's a tough one. I'll just go Liverpool.
I think I'm gonna go with my boy Michael. Sheehan. Yeah. I think Brighton are gonna pull it off just like they did against Tottenham.
Yep. Tottenham Chelsea. Part of me wants to go with a drop, but Tottenham's invisible defending makes me slightly lean towards Chelsea, in my opinion. I think Chelsea will nick it. What are the other three saying?
I mean, this is an interesting one. I think that Chelsea found some form recently against under Tuchel. I think that they're going to be confident. They're fancy their chances of going into this one, but then Spurs going to be definitely frustrated after the Brighton win. So I think it's going to be a really interesting battle. I'm not really sure at all who's going to win this one. I'm going to edge it to Chelsea just because Spurs are without their main man up front.
Yeah, I think.
All right.
Yeah, there's no. I
Go
think
ahead.
aside from Liverpool, I think of the top 6 teams, I think we've struggled against Chelsea the most. So I think it's every time it's a really even going against them. But yeah, without Kane, it's going to be tough. I'm praying Lamela starts. I think he'll be having a player with some passion that plays for the badge could spur the other players into just playing better. But yeah, I think Chelsea really have the upper hand. I'd go with a Chelsea win, unfortunately.
Yeah. So to me, there's like 2 options here. So I think if Lamela starts, Chelsea will win, and if he doesn't start, I think Tottenham will win. So there it is.
Brilliant prediction there from Sly Guy. Best one so far, probably the best one of the season. And now back into Matchday 23. And I am all over the place right now. I sincerely give my sincere thanks to my Wi-Fi for absolutely screwing me over here. And yeah, back to Matchday 23. Burnley hosts Brighton. What?
Oh no, I think Cyrus deserves a bit of thanking. He carried during the time you were out, Davis.
Yeah, thank him.
Yeah, I was like all A in his interim manager.
Exactly.
Yep. And I would 100% expect Shy Guy to take using his leadership qualities as something that we don't really see a lot of in that Arsenal back four and carry it forward, which is excellent.
Arsenal do have the second least goals conceded, but carry on.
And Man United is, still second in the table, but yeah, we will 100% carry on. Burnley hosts Brighton. I think Brighton will have confidence from their masterclass dominating performance against Tottenham. And I think that they will carry forward and they will win this game against Burnley, but comfortable though. And Andre is showing exactly what Neil Mopai will do the next time he does play Tottenham. Anyways, what are the three of you saying for this game?
I'd go with Burnley for this one. I think that first of all, I think this is going to be a terrible match. I don't know why anyone would ever watch this game. I feel sorry for anyone.
My sincere prayers go out to anyone who wants to watch Peacock.
But I think I'm going to go with Burnley just because of the way they play. I think they'll grind out the result.
Okay. Andre, what are you saying?
Oh, you're harsh. I think Brighton play I'm not just. I said this even before the last bit. I always thought Brighton play attacking football. So it could it's going to be a huge contrast in styles of football. So I think that'll where it could be interesting. I'm going to go a draw for this match.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Sorry. Brighton do have only 3 less goals than Arsenal this season. So I think they do play more attacking football than I thought.
Hey, well, they hit the post against United 5 times, so they create the chances. They just don't put them away.
Yeah. And Cyrus, what are you saying for this game?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to back my boy Michael again. I think Brighton are gonna win. In fact, they might go all the way.
All right. Newcastle hosts Southampton. Now Southampton are going to be missing. I forgot the name of the young lad who started them. Who started the name in midfield. I know he's Swiss. I just forgot his name. And they'll also be missing. What's his name?
Jankowicz is the
What
guy's
is it?
Jankowicz.
Oh, thank you for that. Jankowicz, and they're going to be missing Bentnerek. Very important to that Southampton defensive unit. I think Newcastle are going to somehow, and I mean somehow, it's either going to be Newcastle win or draw. But I'll probably stick with a draw. I think Newcastle will somehow get a draw. What are the three of you saying?
I agree with you. I think it'll be a draw. I think Newcastle will play very defensively.
And what are the other two saying?
I think I think it'll still take another game for Southampton to bounce back, and I think Callum Wilson's on really good form, so I think it'll be a Newcastle one.
Okay. And Cyrus, what about you?
Oh gosh, sorry, I'm really laggy. What?
Um, Newcastle hosts Southampton.
Ever. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a Newcastle win. To be honest, I feel like they're due one. I feel like they kind of played. I don't know. I don't want to say poorly, but I think Steve Bruce, I think he might get the sack.
Okay. Fulham hosts West Ham. I think this will be a West Ham win, no problems. I think it's. I think it'll be very, very straightforward. And in terms of, they had the one-off game, but before that, I think they've been in good form. Putting that Liverpool game aside, I think West Ham will come away with a win. What are the other two? What are the other three of you saying?
I don't know. I think this one could be interesting. I think that Fulham might be the type of team that West Ham may not do that well against, and maybe Fulham I think Fulham might sneak a draw out of this one.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
I think no, agreed. I think Fulham do have, I think they can beat them on pace maybe with those just counterattacks. That's a slight bit of ingenuity, but I still think West Ham will top them in the end.
Okay. Cyrus, what about you?
Yeah, I think Andres right. I think West Ham will top them at the end.
All right. Manchester United hosts Everton. And this will be as much props as I'd give United to win this game. United are literally inconsistent FC. Finally, when we had some consistency, we then lost the consistency. So honestly, I mean, it could be a United win. It could be a draw. I'll stick to being optimistic after today's result. I'll be a bit optimistic and we'll say United will win this game. But it could very well go either way. What are the three of you saying?
Yeah, Davis. I think that you and I think similar ways. I think that I'm gonna definitely predict a draw. I think Solskjaer is gonna see how he played against Southampton. He's gonna think he can do it again against Everton. Not another excuse to play Maguire and Lindelof. I think we're gonna play too defensively like we usually do, and we're gonna draw this game.
Okay. The other two, what are you saying?
It'll be Bruno's gonna get a penalty and edge it for United in the end. It'll be United win.
Yeah, I have to agree
Like
with
that.
Andre. It'll be some scummy goal at the end because that's all you guys do. Except for today. That was a good performance. It was just a bit of a one-off. So
2-off.
All right, next game. Tottenham hosts West Brom. Ooh, I don't know. Two teams that don't quite know how to defend. I don't know. I don't know. West Brom could pose it as a threat. No, I'm joking. If Tottenham doesn't beat West Brom, I will be absolutely shocked. Regardless of who they're missing, Tottenham should beat West Brom. They're arguably the worst side in the Premier League. This should be a Tottenham victory. I don't expect anything else less than that. Do you three agree?
Yeah, I think especially if Tottenham don't get the result against Chelsea, there'll be at least two matches without a win. So I think that they'll definitely get the result. I think three or four goals at least.
Andrea, you think your boys will take the W?
Yeah, it's a must win with everything that's going on. So I think it'll give the fans some sanity. It's got to be a win.
All right. And Cyrus, are you gonna go with are you gonna use your banter prediction or are you gonna use your legitimate prediction?
No, I'll take a cheeky, legitimate prediction for this one. I think Tottenham are gonna win, but I just want to say one thing about Son. Like, what is his issue? Like, I triple captained him because I thought he was gonna do bits against Brighton,
I
and
know.
he gets me nothing. He gets me nothing.
I captained him
That
too.
was a mistake.
But I mean, hey, Cyrus, Tottenham, in the big stage, I've been more or less missing now, for the past 8 years.
Bit of
So I
fact.
mean, you know what? I sympathize with you 100% because I captained Son this week and he gave me absolutely nothing. So I sympathize with you. And I know I'm ripping on Tottenham constantly, but I mean,
No, it's okay. They deserve it.
I'm ripping on Tottenham more than usual. I know Onyx had a very rough week.
Because you're scared of us, all of you. All of you are scared of the mighty Spur. Just watch. Come end of season, Kane's gonna be back, Bale's gonna be bouncing, and have the best front three in the league. Come March, watch. We'll end the season strong. It'll save Jose's job.
Um, into the next game, Wolves host Leicester, and I think this one's gonna end in a draw. What are you three saying?
Well, I think Wolves are just a bunch of diving cheats, to be honest. So I'm gonna go with a Leicester win.
Andre Jose, what are you two saying?
The game was Wolves and who?
Leicester.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I think it could definitely go either way. I think I'm gonna go draw for this match.
Okay. Jose, what about you?
Yeah, I was trying to see the head-to-head because for me, these two teams that have historically played similar ways, defending and playing on the break. So I mean, I'm looking at the head-to-head. It's two wins for each and three draws. So not really much to go off of there. I think I'm gonna agree with you, Davis. I'm gonna go for a draw.
Okay. Next game, Liverpool hosts Manchester City. And as we talked about with these big games, there isn't a lot of big hype. And you know what? I'm actually not gonna get stumped by this one this time. I'm not gonna get overhyped. This is gonna be a draw. I think this will somehow end in a draw. Whether according to Jamie Carragher, player of the season, Jordan Henderson plays at center back, or Ryan Williams or Kabak is fit for that game, or Ben Davies or whatnot. I think this game will somehow end in a draw. What are you three saying?
Yeah, I could agree. I think that a draw is reasonable. I think for me the only two options are a draw or a win for Man City. I think they're going to be really solid, Man City, defensively, and I just don't know. I'm not too sure about their attack in this game if it's good enough to get a goal or two. But I think I'm going to go for a draw as well.
And Andre, what are you saying? And
Yeah. I'm gonna actually go for a City win in this match. I think yeah.
Sirius, what about you?
Yeah, City win.
All right. The last two games we have Sheffield United. They host Chelsea, and I think Chelsea will win this game. Everybody agrees.
No, not quite. I think that Chelsea, especially if they don't get a result against Tottenham, I think that they could fall victim to similar things that we did against Sheffield United. I think that Sheffield United could get a result here. So I'm gonna go with a Sheffield United win.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not-
Okay.
to Sheffield as well.
Okay. Andre, what about you?
No, I would love it if Chris Wilder had came out on top against Thomas Tuchel, a guy who's, coached a team in the Champions League final. But no, I don't think it'll happen. But I'll go draw. Actually, I'll go draw.
Okay, fair enough. And the final game of Matchday 23, Leeds host Crystal Palace. And one thing I remember the reverse fixture of this. And the three of you, I think all three of you said that Leeds were going to beat Crystal Palace. And I think you may have been either me or me and Jose were the only ones that said that Crystal Palace would win this game. And actually, you know what? Based on the way they play, I'm actually going to go with the Crystal Palace win again. If they screw me over, then oh well. Everyone makes mistakes. But I think Crystal Palace are going to pull a shock result. What are the three of you saying?
I can agree. I think that for me, this one's really based on whether or not Zaha is back in time for this game. I think that if Zaha is back, I think Crystal Palace definitely have a really, really good chance of winning, and I'd go for a win for them. But as of now, Leeds, in good form. I would go for a Leeds win. But if Zaha comes back, I think that changes.
All right. Andre, Cyrus, what about you two?
Yeah, I agree with your analysis, Davis. I'll go. I think it's gonna be Palace win.
Okay. And Cyrus, last but not least, what are you saying?
Oh yeah, I agree with both of them.
All right. We've finally somehow reached the end of this show. If you like what you see, smash like in the video. If you want to keep up with our platforms, links are in the description below. And wherever you are watching this in the world, have a great day, evening.